Welcome back, dear viewers, and to shed more light on Russian flights resumption, we're joined over the phone by Dr. Yahya Roshdy, tourism expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Levine, and Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem, sir. Sir, I would like you to tell me how do you assess the state's efforts in order to resume Russian flights back again?
Well, really, that has been a long process because we had a long halt, like of Russians to Egypt, like nearly 6 years. So it was the initiative of President Sisi and President Putin, to resume flights back to Red Sea resorts of Hagara and Sharm el-Sheikh. And Russian ambassador, he held a press conference 2 days ago with the governor of Red Sea in Hagara, and he commented on the initiative of the Egyptian government to combat the coronavirus. That's why it made it safe and accessible to Russian visitors, as well as the government initiative to upgrade the criteria of hotels, resorts, transportation system, tourist facilities, and Hagara International Terminal, which will be dedicated to Russian visitors only.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, talking about tourists in Sinai, different types of tourists, I don't mean Russian in specific, all tourists can work on, can have different kinds of activities from safari to diving to rock climbing. What other activities the state could invent to attract more tourists to this area?
Well, actually, Russian, tourists are active and athletic most of the time. So they will be enjoying, aquatics, parasailing, diving, and snorkeling. Plus, in the evening, they can enjoy the safari, short trips to the Bedouin areas and the tents. Mm-hmm. Apart from that, they have two great museums, one in Sharm el-Sheikh, and the other one that has been recently opened in Hagara, Egyptian Museum of Antiquities.
Yes.
Apart from that, I've been to the Cairo Museum and I made the tours of the Russian visitors who, travel to Cairo to visit the Cairo Museum and then the Fustat Museum of Civilization. Then they move to and transfer to the Giza Plateau and, they go to the Saqqara Necropolis as well.
Yeah.
Other groups, they travel to Luxor where they enjoy, touring the facilities, antiquities of El-Karnak temple and sanctuaries, and then they move to the west bank of the Nile to go to the Valley of the Kings.
Yeah.
So we have an excellent menu of travel and, attractions to Russian visitors where they enjoy the pleasures of the beaches and the resorts and the Red Sea, as well as, visiting Cairo and Aswan and Luxor, and completing, the tours.
Well, Minister of Tourism decided to set a minimum price for the sale of 4 stars and 5 stars hotels rooms in order to raise the price of tourism quality and services in the Red Sea cities. The decision will be implemented in November 2021. How do you read this decision?
Well, really, this is a very wise approach from Dr. Anani because lodging rate pricing is key to maintaining quality standards of affordable tourism to Egypt. Mm-hmm. Most tour packages in luxury resorts worldwide are mostly all-inclusive. Others will be half-board, and the rest will be, all-inclusive and full board. Mm-hmm. So that's why setting the rates at 40 and 50, plus, dollars, that the ministry has set is very reasonable and encouraging to visitors and tour packages, as well as individuals, and families, and it will be excellent criteria for maintaining the standards offered to visitors at 4 and 5 star hotels, mm-hmm. that they need rooms, beach facilities, plus serving them 2 to 3, excellent and fresh meals a day.
Yeah.
So this is an excellent approach from the Ministry of Tourism, yes.
Yeah, okay. Sir, how do you assess the precautionary measures taken at the Red Sea resort, with regards to hotels, restaurants, and cafes?
Well, Ms. Ghada Shalabi, Vice Minister, she's been to Hagara and Sharm el-Sheikh last week, and to be able to cater to foreign visitors, like from 20 countries apart from the Russian visitors. They had to vaccinate and immunize around 30,000 of the staff who worked hotels, restaurants, catering, cab drivers, like working in shopping malls and bazaars. So everybody is dealing with visitors, even like the airport facilities, staff and crew. So this is to guarantee that, like it's a safe haven, and a pristine environment for visitors to come. And that's why the ambassador of Russia has been encouraged to ask and look for the return of the Russian tours. And Mr. Gorbayev, like the Consul General of Russia, is holding a festival and celebration next Sunday for the homecoming of Russian tours to Egypt, inshallah.
Yes, so we're looking forward to that, sir. Now, how do you view the Tourism Ministry's new policy of integrating beach tourism with cultural tourism? How do you assess this integration?
Well, this is excellent, really, because, like both museums of Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada are less than 1 year old, like that was the initiative, and the ministry has lots of, like enterprises and projects to accomplish.
Yeah.
That's why the approach now is to work closely with the private sector, and we have seen the fruit of this represented in the Museum of Antiquities in Hurghada. Like this is a private joint ownership with the government. So we look forward to hold more museums and more culture projects with the government, where the government provides antiquities and relics of the past, and the private sector will cater and provide, like the premises and the property for the visitors to come and enjoy the culture, heritage of Egypt.
Right. Well, I'd like to move on to talk about museums, and in specific the Grand Egyptian Museum that will be inaugurated soon here in Egypt. How far do you think will be the impact of the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum here in Egypt on tourism?
Well, really, I mean, you remember on the 3rd of April, we have seen like the royal parade, like of the kings and queens of Egypt, from the Cairo Museum up to the Fustat Museum of Civilization.
The Golden Parade, the Mummy's Golden Parade.
Exactly, and that was a sensational and extravaganza witnessed by the whole world, and it had acclaim, like globally and worldwide. We have to build on this. That's why shortly, inshallah, next October, when they do the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, I get contacts from many world media, like travel writers and photographers and documentary stations who like to come and write, to give their customers, and clientele a preview of the Grand Egyptian Museum to promote it more. So really, this is the task of the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, that start inviting, global media, from photographers, travel writers, and the documentary stations to film about the closely inauguration of the museum, because this is going to be part of the campaign to lure visitors worldwide to come back to Egypt, inshallah. And remember that there is more vaccination worldwide. So thank God by the next fall, there's going to be easing in the travel restrictions worldwide, and Egypt is going to be accessible again for world travel.
Right. Well, talking about religious tourism, as we are in the holy month of Ramadan, do you think that religious tourism is well promoted here in Egypt?
Well, of course, thank God we have, the relics of the three grand, monotheist, religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And we have visitors worldwide who come during different seasons worldwide from different sects. Some come to the Hussein, come to Al al-Bayt, in our Islamic old Cairo. And others go to on the trail of the Holy Family, that moved all the way from Palestine up to Asyut.
Yeah.
That was their last destination, and they stayed for from 3 to 4 years in Egypt. And we have the Holy Mountains, and in St. Catherine, the relics of Prophet Moses.
Yeah.
So religious tourism, has been abundant, but like the pandemic has delayed a little bit because of the vaccination process and like the criteria that has been enforced by the IATA and World Tourism Organization, that we have to be cautious when we move from one area to another. That's why currently they are applying the digital green passport, where you have a passport that shows how many times you've been vaccinated and you are safe to travel easily and affordably.
Yeah, so what do you think is the best way to promote religious tourism in Egypt? I mean, further promote it.
Well, of course, as I've been talking to Dr. Ashraf Musa, we received, like tours from Philippines, for example, or Catholics who like to come to enjoy the trail of the Holy Family that has been all over Egypt, like in Wadi Natron, Oasis, and Sharqiyya, and Samanud, all of these areas. So the Ministry of Tourism, like jointly with the private sector, they have to work closely. I met some of the tour guides who she told me that she's learning Indonesian because, like there are Indonesian tourists, like Catholics who like to come to the Holy Family as well. So we have to promote the skills and talents of our tour guides and visit repetitively, like the region where they generate, like the religion tourism to Egypt dominantly.
Sir, how from your own point of view can we attract new markets and open new gates for the markets we are already dealing with?
Well, currently, like the travel industry is shrinking due to the pandemic, as we all know. But we have to get ready as other destinations are doing. For example, like in Dubai, they have the Dubai Expo that's going to be opening next October. So we have to develop more niche markets, create more attraction, and make it accessible. For example, I had a mail from a German friend, and he's telling me like Egypt, like used to have like marine lines from Napoli. Like on a weekly basis, there were, like voyages, like and trips. This has been suspended. We have to restore this so we can guarantee visitors coming from Greece, from Sicily, from Italy will come back to Egypt via, like the Mediterranean. Again, the cruise ships, like now they are touring, like Saudi, Sultanate Oman, Emirates, and Bahrain. We used to have this like about 10, 15 years ago, but not anymore. So the Ministry of Tourism has to, again, to build its vision and enterprises to look at all generated markets that we neglected over a while and work to return it back, because many tour guides used to capture the cruises in Port Said and make the quick tours, like of Cairo, and museum, pyramids, have lunch and catch up in Alexandria. They used to do the other way around. When they cruise, they land, like in Alexandria, they do it and they catch up in Port Said this way. So we had abundance of tourism techniques that we need to revive, apply, and enjoy its success, inshallah.
Yeah, well, as you just mentioned, sir, Egypt has it all when it comes to tourism. We have the most beautiful touristic sites around the world. We have the monuments. We have the warm weather. We have cultural tourism. We have religious tourism. We have everything. I mean, the monuments. So what plan can be set to further promote internal and worldwide international tourism as well?
Well, you are right. Like everything you mentioned, really, like monitors to about 25 to 30%. Cultural tourism worldwide is valued at 20% of the grand movement of tourist arrival, which is 1.5 billion visitors per year. Mm-hmm. But in Egypt, we need to have, like facilities. For example, like I was talking a week ago, foreign visitors, they say you don't have entertainment, anymore in Egypt. Yeah. We need to have, like theaters, comedy and drama. We used to have about 20 to 25 theaters. So you have shows around the week. And then we used to have movie theaters. We have concerts, like in the golden happy days. These movie theaters are closed down now. We need to open more cafes. and the classy outlets for visitors. In Cairo, there are 25 million visitors, residents who live, and we have millions of visitors come per year. So we need to make shopping accessible, transportation, and we have many gardens, like Andalus Garden that has been locked up. This has been run for like 100 years.
Yeah.
So the zoo need to be upgraded. The agriculture museum. We have hundreds of museums in Cairo that need facelifting and promoting as well. Not only having it upgraded, but to make the public and the locals. Look how many people were visiting the Fustat Museum, 5,000 and 7,000 daily, because of the impact of the golden parade of the pharaohs, kings and queens. So we need just to upgrade the facilities and infrastructure, and we have all the basics, and like on the heritage and the relics, and look, there was a concert at Abdin Palace last week.
Yeah.
It was extremely successful. So we have to use all the infrastructure and the facilities we have, the luxury ones, the popular ones like Shara al-Mu'izz, downtown Cairo, which is the government is currently upgrading, like Khedewi building, downtown Cairo. And shortly, inshallah, by next year, we'll have excellent, material and facilities to offer to local visitors and international one as well.
Sir, finally, what are your expectations for the upcoming tourism season?
Well, inshallah, as I said, we look, worldwide, there are countries that have been totally vaccinated. The UK, Germany, Switzerland, New Zealand, the United Arab Emirates. So with the high application of vaccinations of population, there is more guarantee, more trust now for people to travel, and the IATA is issuing the immunity digital green passport, as well as a digital green passport, and this is going to make travel accessible and affordable. So by the fall, inshallah, as most travel authorities worldwide prophesize, that is going to be the comeback of world tourism is going to be, of course, on stages, until in the year 22, 23, inshallah, will come back in full gear.
Right. Well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Yahya Roshdy, our tourism expert. Many thanks for your insight.